reminded of the events of long ago. It was on the first day of unleavened bread, when the Passover lamb was sacrificed, that his disciples said to him, "Where do you want us to go and make the preparation for you to eat the Passover?" So he sent two of his disciples, saying to them, "Go into the city, and a man carrying a jar of water will meet you. Follow him, and wherever he enters, say to the owner of the house, 'The teacher asks, where is my guest room where I may eat the Passover with my disciples?' He will show you a large room upstairs, furnished and ready. Make preparations for us there." So the disciples set out and went to the city and found everything as he had told them. And they prepared the Passover meal. When it was evening, he came with the 12. And when they had taken their places and were eating, Jesus said, "Truly, I tell you, one of you will betray me, one who is eating with me." In that moment, they were all shaken and disturbed by this shocking news. Their minds raced with the confusion as they all began, one by one, to say, "Lord, is it I?" Listen as the disciples share with us their innermost thoughts at this instant.
I am James the elder, brother of John, son of Zebedee. We were fishermen with good friends Andrew and Simon Peter when Jesus came to us and asked us to be his disciples. Now, at the beginning, John and I were easy to anger, and Jesus gave us a nickname, Boanerges, which loosely translates to Sons of Thunder. We were on a trip to Jerusalem, and we came through the small village, and the people there had refused us shelter and food. These were supposedly Samaritans.
For months I had watched Jesus at work. I looked but did not see. I heard what he said but did not understand. I'd accepted what Jesus did and then demanded more proof. For many months, we walked the roads of Palestine. We witnessed many amazing things. The lame made to walk upright, the blind made to see. Even the dead brought back to life. When Jesus told us that God was our Father in heaven, it was almost beyond my understanding. I asked him, "Lord, show us the Father, and we will be satisfied." Jesus replied, after all I have done and said, "Philip, do you not know that I'm the Father, and the Father is in me? Anyone who has seen me has seen the Father."
Tiberius. Jesus saw that I was a man of great passion and ambition. In the early days, I relished the idea that Jesus would one day create an earthly kingdom, and that I would have some prominent position by his side. Jesus trusted me, and even though we had a tax collector in the group, he still decided to make me treasurer. In the beginning, I was intrigued by Jesus. I wanted to follow him, and I believed.
Some call me Levi, and I have the unfortunate occupation of being a tax collector. Now, in our day, there were pretty much no one was hated as much as we tax collectors. They looked at us as collaborators with Rome, as we took money from people who already could barely afford to survive. And then on top of that, if we actually wanted to get paid for our work, we had to add a surcharge. So basically, I had to extort money just so I could live. But Jesus, when he saw me, none of that mattered. He just saw right through to my potential. And he found me one day and he just came right up. And he looked me in the eye and he said 2 words. Follow me. And it was like something inside just switched and I couldn't resist him. I wanted to go with him, so I dropped everything where it was, left it all so I could go wherever he was. And everywhere we went, these people like the Pharisees would come up and they would complain about how Jesus was always eating and hanging around with people the likes of me, tax collectors, sinners. But he would just say to them, people who are well don't need a doctor, the sick do. Countless times in our travels, people would come up to me to remind me that I was the least suited out of any of them for being a disciple. But Jesus taught me that there were things that mattered more in this world than other people's opinions, or than money, or anything. He taught me what real treasure really was. So I don't know if I can put into words what it was like for me to be a part of this 12. A part of these people who loved me and accepted me no matter what I'd done before. And that's why when Jesus told us that one of us would betray him, I was crushed. And then I went to that place, that dark place of doubt, where I thought, could it even be me? I remembered the way I was before, and I thought, I tried to turn over a new leaf, I tried to be good, but maybe I'm just not cut out for all this like the rest of them. Maybe I am the least suited. So I was full of confusion and doubt when we all got up to leave for the Mount of Olives. And I needed to have some time to myself, so I went away for a bit. And it was this commotion, all this noise that drew my attention, and I knew something was wrong. But by the time I got there, it was too late. There's nothing I could do. He had already been arrested.
Who is eating with me? And you will all become deserters, for it is written, I will strike the shepherd, and the sheep will scatter. But after I am raised up, I will go before you to Galilee.